Alright, so here are some team recommendations for Neuvillette. Hang on, let me just change my language to English really quick. Alright, so first, let's find out. Alright, here. So first, obviously, you have Sucrose. Sucrose is very good with Neuvillette. She can hold the Viridescent Venerer artifact set. I'll show you what it is later and how to build her. Also, Fischl. Fischl is going to be a 4-star on Neuvillette's banner next patch. So you'll probably have a good chance of getting her when you pull for Neuvillette. If you can get her, definitely put her on the team. She's a really good character in general, not just with Neuvillette. And then finally, the last one's kind of a generic option. You could put Kaya to trigger. You could put Kaya. Let's see. Who else do you have? Kaya, Noelle might. You can use Kaya, and then also Lisa could also work. So if you do this, it'll be kind of a taser team, and Kaya's also viable. And I'll show you why each of these characters works. So first, Neuvillette has a really important talent. Once you get it past his first ascension, he'll get this ability where if you trigger any hydro reaction, he'll gain extra damage. It'll stack 3 times. So each time he triggers a reaction, he'll get this thing called Draconic Glory, and it stacks up to 3 times, and he'll get damage bonus. And so it only triggers for separate reactions. So for example, if you trigger Electro Charge or a Hydro Swirl 3 times, it'll only give him 1 stack. So you have to trigger 3 separate reactions. But basically, he doesn't have very many free support options. So if you don't have them, you should just go for a Rainbow team basically. So first, let's go to Fischl. Fischl is a strong character. He summons his bird, and the bird shoots Electro. And first of all, it applies a lot of Electro, but her personal damage is just really high. And then Lisa, you again also applies decent Electro with her burst. And if you look here, her burst actually has, wrong one. Her burst has decently high energy, but because Fischl generates a lot of energy through the bird, Oz. And so you mainly want to use Lisa for this. It says enemies hit by her burst will have decreased defense. And decreasing enemy defense is almost always just a strict damage increase. And the defense reduction is very, very rare. I think Lisa is pretty much the only character who can remove defense as a free option. Alright, now finally for Sucrose. Obviously Sucrose, her skill, it groups enemies together, so Neuvillette, when he charge attacks, it'll be easier for it to hit him because they'll all be grouped together. And then also, she also has a talent where she gives some of her elemental mastery to her teammates. Obviously for this talent and the second talent for each character, you actually have to level them up quite a bit, so you might not be able to access that now. But again, elemental mastery isn't really that important for Neuvillette, so Sucrose buffing Neuvillette's elemental mastery isn't that big of a deal. The big deal is this artifact set. It's called Viridescent Venerer, and if you look at the 4-piece, it decreases elemental resistance to the element infused in the swirl by 40% for 10 seconds. This artifact set can be found right here in this wrong one. My bad. This one? Oh, then this one. Okay. Right here in this domain, once you can get it here, the 4-star version will also have the exact same effect. So you can still get the 4-star, and this is a really, really big damage increase, and just definitely a good option for any Animo character to have. And the funny thing, this set basically makes any Animo character just automatically a good support. Now, you just have to have four of these pieces on her. It'll say Viridescent Venerer, and then once you have 4 of them, you can try for main stats. The main stat you want is Elemental Mastery, because swirl damage only scales off Elemental Mastery. It's called a transformative reaction. You don't need to know what that means. But basically, it doesn't care about crit, it doesn't care about attack, it doesn't care about anything else your character might scale off of. Like, for example, elemental damage bonus, right? For example, this one says Animo damage bonus. Swirl, the reaction, doesn't actually benefit from it. So as long as you have the 4-piece, maybe go for Elemental Mastery, but then just getting the 4-piece is enough, and obviously her grouping enemies, pulling them closer. If you don't want Lisa, you could definitely put in Kaya, because Kaya, you want characters who can apply an element off field. So Kaya, with his burst, he has the icicles. I do not have his burst up. Okay, but he has the icicles. Aha, here we are. Okay, he's immune, but I get particles really quick. So, bro, I just missed. Okay. Ignore that. Ignore the fact that I'm bad at the game, but okay, this guy's cryo. This won't work. Let me teleport somewhere really quick. Okay, I'll demonstrate how this team works. But yeah, that's those are some good options for your team. You have Sucrose, which is just a really, really good support. And then, because you don't have the most amount of support options for Neuvillette, even I don't really have that many supports. I just play like, yeah, hang on. Okay, and then and then cryo reactions. And if you want to know how many draconic stacks he has, oops. Also, he doesn't have to be the one triggering the reaction. As long as the reaction is triggered, it'll work. And so you see how his hair and robes are glowing? That means he has all 3 stacks. But each time you obtain a stack, a circle will appear above his head, and that's what you know how you know it exists. But let's find a couple more enemies and I'll show you. Get off the tree. Okay. Let's move. Oh no, my Sucrose died. Okay, yeah. My Sucrose is not built very well because I have Kazuha. But oh yes, you see how the circle appeared over his head? It decreased because it ran out. The duration ran out. But let's find some enemies. Okay. Let me just wait for all this. Okay. Here. So let me apply Hydro, and then there's Electro. And see how a circle appeared over his head? Or like, for example, apply Cryo, and then another circle appeared, and then okay, this guy's Electro, and then oops, he died. Okay, here. These guys are Hydro, I swirl, and then bro. Okay, you saw earlier when I hit the Abyss Shield, which is already Hydro, there's a 3rd stack, and when all 3 stacks are obtained, he starts glowing. Now, my Sucrose is not leveled or built, so yeah, see how Kaya, his icicles hit enemies off field to give you the element, and also Official summons the bird, which shoots enemies and is able to trigger it off field as well. Okay, my Sucrose is dead, but her burst spawns the little butterfly thing that's constantly